A 52-yard field goal. The game on the line, the crowd on its feet. Seattle Seahawks kicker Jason Myers steps up, drills it, and wins the game. But what happened before the kick had fans asking one big question. Did he break the rules? Because cameras caught Myers using smelling salts on the sideline right before his game-winning kick, and suddenly, NFL Twitter exploded. Are smelling salts even legal? Are they safe? Or did Myers just spark one of the weirdest controversies of the season? Before we get into it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our deep dives into the biggest NFL stories, controversies, and wild moments. Let's rewind. It's crunch time. The Seahawks are lining up for a game-winning field goal against one of their rivals. Jason Myers has ice in his veins. He's done this before. But as the camera pans to him on the sideline, something strange happens. Elian Sabera cracks open a small packet, brings it to his nose, and jolts back like he just got shocked. That wasn't Gatorade. That wasn't a snack. That was smelling salts. So what are smelling salts? Anyway, if you've never seen them, smelling salts are little packets or capsules that contain ammonia. When you break one open, it releases a strong, sharp odor that irritates the nose and lungs. The idea is that it triggers an almost instant jolt. It makes you more alert, wakes you up, gets your adrenaline pumping. They've been around forever. In fact, doctors used to use smelling salts to revive people who fainted. But in sports, they've taken on a new life. And here's where the controversy comes in. Some fans immediately wondered, wait, a second, is that even legal? When you see a professional athlete inhaling something before a big moment, your brain immediately jumps to performance enhancers, banned substances, or unfair advantages. Did Jason Myers hack the system with a little sideline chemistry trick? The answer is complicated. Smelling salts are not banned by the NFL. They're also not banned by most major sports leagues. In fact, players across the NFL, NHL, and even MLB have used them for years. If you've ever watched a hockey broadcast, you've probably seen players pass around a bottle of salts before, a big face-off. So Myers didn't technically break any rules. But here is the thing. Just because something is UNB doesn't mean it is not controversial. The debate, legal but safe. Smelling salts work by irritating the mucous membranes in your nose and lungs, which basically forces your body into a little shock response. You take a deep breath, your heart rate spikes, your body says, wake up. It's not dangerous in small doses for most healthy people. But overuse, that's where doctors start sounding alarms. Some studies warn that constant use can irritate your respiratory system. Others point out that relying on them too much might mess with your natural focus or create a dependency. Like a ritual you have to do before performing. And here's the kicker. Pun intended. The NFL has a long, messy history with substances. Fans know about suspensions for PEDs, for painkillers, even for CBD. So when they saw Myers with that little packet, it sparked immediate debate. Is it fair? Is it safe? Or is it just part of sports tradition? Because here's the truth. Smelling salts are a tradition. Go back decades, and you'll find players from every era cracking open salts before big moments. Lawrence Taylor used them. Brett Favre used them. Even Tom Brady admitted that he's seen teammates use them regularly. Some players swear by them. They say it clears the fog, sharpens their focus, and gets them locked in when the pressure is highest. For a kicker like Jason Myers, where one tiny lapse in concentration can mean the difference between hero and zero, it makes sense. But others roll their eyes and call it superstition, a placebo effect, dressed up as science. The fan reaction as soon as the clip hit social media, fans split into two camps. One side said, big deal. Smelling salts have been around forever. He didn't cheat. He didn't break the rules. He just used something that helps him lock in. The other side said, this feels off. Why should a player be allowed to use a chemical aid, even if it's not banned? Doesn't that open the door for abuse? Memes flew. Some joked that Myers had unlocked kicker's superpowers. Others said he was juicing with ammonia. The moment became less about the field goal and more about the ritual behind it. And here's what makes this story so interesting. The NFL is always walking a tightrope between tradition and regulation. Things like smelling salts fall into that gray area. They're legal, but they raise eyebrows. They're not a performance enhancer in the same way steroids are. But they're not exactly water and orange slices either. And that's why Jason Myers' sideline sniff became more than just a quirky pre-kick routine. It turned into a flashpoint for a bigger conversation. How far should athletes be allowed to go to gain an edge? Let's zoom out. The history of sports is filled with rituals and tricks that skirt the line. Baseball players chew sunflower seeds, or used to chew tobacco. Basketball players have pre-free throw routines, like spinning the ball or muttering mantras. Soccer players cross themselves before penalty kicks. Jason Myers cracking open a smelling salt packet is just another layer of that same human story. Athletes looking for an edge, or at least the feeling of one. The difference: this ritual comes with chemistry, and anytime chemicals enter the picture, fans and leagues pay attention. So, did Jason Myers break the rules? No. Smelling salts are legal. The NFL doesn't consider them a banned substance. But did he spark a conversation? Absolutely. He forced fans, media, and even other players to think about the line between focus and fairness, between tradition and regulation, between a quirky ritual and a questionable aid. Let me ask you, do you think smelling salts should be banned in the NFL, or are they harmless, just part of the game day culture? Drop your answer in the comments. We'll feature the best takes in a future episode. And if you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps us out. Back to Jason Myers. At the end of the day, this story will probably fade. The league isn't likely to step in and ban smelling salts anytime soon. They're too ingrained in the culture, too common across sports. But the moment sticks because it's memorable. A kicker staring down a 52-yard attempt with the game on the line, jolting himself awake with smelling salts before drilling the kick. It's cinematic. It's bizarre. It's the kind of detail fans will remember long after they forget the final score. A 52-yard game winner, a packet of smelling salts, and a viral controversy about rules, rituals, and the gray areas of sports. Jason Myers didn't break the rules, but he did break the internet. If you want more deep dives into the NFL's biggest controversies, stories, and untold moments, make sure you subscribe to NFL Spotlight. Because here, we don't just cover the game, we uncover the stories behind it.